Welcome to this explainer. You know, in modern American wellness culture, we are absolutely obsessed with optimization. We're constantly searching for these perfect protocols to enhance our physical performance, sharpen our minds, and just extend our overall vitality. Yet paradoxically, millions of us are falling victim to a massive billion-dollar commercial trend that is literally sabotaging our biology. I'm talking about detox teas. Today, we're stripping away the Instagram filters and the slick marketing to look at the hardcore clinical realities of laxatives. We're going to examine how your genuine gut health dictates literally everything, from your daily cognitive performance and your ability to lock into deep work, all the way to your sleep architecture and biological aging.
So, it brings up a vital question we really have to confront. Why do we fall for these products in the first place? Well, if you look at behavioral psychology, it makes total sense. In our era of digital overload, chronic stress, and ultra-processed diets, we often just feel sluggish. We feel inflamed. We naturally crave a reset. And the wellness industry totally preys on this, promising a clean slate through beautifully packaged daily teas. But behind that aesthetic, we really have to look at the gastrointestinal reality. Are these cleanses actually purifying our systems, or are they just methodically paralyzing our intestines and fracturing the foundational systems that keep us healthy?
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today. 1. The Detox illusion. 2. The science of senna. 3. Gastrointestinal and systemic damage. 4. Devastating the gut microbiome. And 5. Restoring true gut health.
Section 1. The Detox illusion. Marketing versus pharmacological reality. There is this staggering, almost unbelievable disconnect between commercial claims and actual human physiology. The promises on the box, weight loss, a boosted metabolism, the magical removal of toxins, they're incredibly persuasive, right? But the pharmacological reality tells a completely different story. That transient feeling of being lighter after drinking these teas, that is almost entirely due to rapid fecal evacuation and severe water loss. It's an illusion. This immediate drop on the scale violently tricks your brain's dopamine reward system into believing you're making progress, but actually, you're not burning any fat, you're just inducing systemic dehydration. And that state directly degrades your cognitive endurance, impairs your attention networks, and sets you up for a really vicious cycle of laxative reliance.
And the medical consensus on this is absolutely unequivocal. Leading institutions, including Harvard Health, explicitly state that the practice of colonic cleansing to improve general health is simply not supported by the published scientific literature. The rigorous, peer-reviewed backing for the commercial detox industry, it's virtually non-existent. We are literally trading our physiological stability for a fabricated marketing concept. Section 2. The science of senna. What is actually in your cup?
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is understanding the mechanism hidden behind that reassuring all-natural label. The primary active ingredient in most of these products is a plant called senna. Senna contains these powerful compounds known as sennosides. Now, from an evolutionary perspective, our gut bacteria have a great symbiotic relationship with the plant compounds we eat. But when massive, concentrated doses of sennosides hit your colon, your bacteria hydrolyze them into a totally different compound called rine. And let me be clear, rine is not some gentle, nourishing nutrient. It is a highly potent, direct chemical irritant that actively attacks your biological homeostasis.
The biochemical cascade triggered by rine is incredibly aggressive. It's like a biological hostile takeover. First, it violently stimulates the myenteric plexus, which is this critical nerve network in your gut, forcing abnormal rapid muscle contractions. Second, it actively inhibits the sodium-potassium pump in your colon cells, literally blocking your body's ability to reabsorb water. And finally, it stimulates chloride secretion, which forces even more fluid into the colon. You are chemically inducing rapid watery diarrhea. This forced dumping of water and vital electrolytes totally crashes your daily energy levels. It impairs the electrical signaling in your brain, and it induces a state of physical exhaustion that makes sustained cognitive focus or deep work pretty much impossible.
Section 3. Gastrointestinal and systemic damage, the hidden cost of misuse.
One of the most startling visual indicators of chronic laxative use is a condition called melanosis coli. The chemical assault from these teas actually causes accelerated apoptosis, which is programmed cell death, of your colonic epithelial cells. As these prematurely dead cells shed off, your immune system's macrophages rush in to clean up the debris, and they leave behind a dark pigment called lipofuscin. This literally stains the inside of your colon wall a dark brown or black, creating this leopard skin look. But more importantly, what you're looking at is rapid biological aging within the gut tissue. You are actively forcing your cells to age, degrade, and die way faster than their natural life cycle.
And the consequences go far beyond just local tissue discoloration. Severe continuous misuse fundamentally alters the physical structure of your organs. We're talking about intestinal paralysis, where the colon actually loses its intrinsic ability to contract on its own. Systemically, the burden of processing these compounds can trigger drug-induced liver injury in a matter of months. And tragically, in pediatric cases where senna is accidentally overused, the unabsorbed chemicals in the resulting alkaline diarrhea are so incredibly caustic, they can cause severe chemical burns to a child's skin. Chasing a superficial wellness aesthetic can result in devastating long-term damage to your overall health span.
Section 4. Devastating the gut microbiome, the internal ecosystem.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what's happening on a microscopic level. Data from the landmark BEGIN study reveals the sheer scale of the microbial devastation. When researchers looked at the microbiomes of patients who abused laxatives, they found a uniform obliteration of microbial diversity. The Shannon Diversity Index absolutely plummets. This is a massive loss of biological resilience, leaving your body highly vulnerable to modern environmental stressors. Essential health-promoting bacteria, like Roseburia intestinalis, get severely depleted. Meanwhile, hostile opportunistic bacteria, like Escherichia shigella, rapidly proliferate. By continually purging your system, you are essentially strip mining the highly evolved flora that regulates your immunity and your metabolism.
When you eradicate those beneficial bacteria, you lose something incredibly precious: short-chain fatty acids, specifically acetate, propionate, and butyrate. These molecules are created when your healthy bacteria ferment the dietary fibers you eat. But here's the thing: SCFAs are far more than just local fuel for your colon. They are vital chemical messengers. They enter your bloodstream, they communicate directly with your brain, they regulate systemic metabolism, and they play an absolutely crucial role in turning down the inflammatory processes that drive biological aging.
So the depletion of these molecules sets off a catastrophic physiological domino effect. Without SCFAs, your colon cells literally starve. Because they lack energy, the tight junctions that seal your intestinal wall start to disassemble. This creates intestinal permeability, commonly known as leaky gut. And when that happens, luminal antigens and bacterial waste flood straight into your bloodstream. The result? A massive chronic spike in systemic inflammation, heavily elevating markers like CRP and TNF-alpha. And guys, this systemic inflammation is a primary driver of disrupted sleep architecture, accelerated cellular aging, and a huge decline in your cognitive performance.
This biochemical chaos absolutely does not stay isolated in the gut. It fundamentally alters the gut-brain axis. The depletion of SCFAs directly disrupts the synthesis of vital neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine, many of which actually originate right there in your digestive tract. This creates a severe impairment in your micromental health. People experiencing this kind of gut damage constantly report relentless brain fog, heightened daily anxiety, and a total inability to engage in focused work. The physiological damage chemically alters your neuroendocrine feedback loops, totally impairing emotional regulation and locking you into a deeply reinforcing cycle of psychological distress and further laxative reliance.
Section 5. Restoring true gut health, embracing biological reality.
To truly optimize our health, we have to ground ourselves in biological reality. The human body is a highly evolved, millions of years in the making, biological masterpiece. You already possess a world-class 24/7 detoxification system. Your liver continuously neutralizes harmful compounds. Your kidneys relentlessly filter out metabolic waste. Your GI tract effectively manages solids, and your skin handles specific chemical releases through sweat. You absolutely do not need a synthesized commercial tea to execute the job your organs have spent millennia perfecting.
Furthermore, we have to actively protect the gut barrier, not habitually purge it. Check this out. An incredible 70% of your entire immune system is located right there in your gut wall. 70%. Nourishing this barrier is the ultimate key to health span and physical resilience. Protecting the integrity of the gut lining is quite literally protecting your body's ability to defend itself against pathogens, systemic disease, and the friction of biological aging.
So, the crucial point is, how do we fix it? Healing this system requires a specific, evidence-based protocol to restore those short-chain fatty acids. You have to deliberately feed your commensal bacteria. This means integrating soluble and fermentable fibers from things like oats, legumes, and apples. It means utilizing resistant starches, like green bananas or potatoes that have been cooked and then cooled, which delivers intact starch straight to the lower colon. When your gut-brain axis begins to heal, the principles of intuitive eating naturally kick in. Your body will inherently start gravitating toward these nourishing, complex whole foods rather than quick fixes.
And the clinical data strongly supports this regenerative approach. A recent 12-week clinical trial demonstrated that utilizing targeted, multi-strain probiotics significantly increases SCFA concentrations. This kind of structured microbial support actively repairs the gut barrier and drastically lowers circulating inflammatory markers. And lowering that systemic inflammation doesn't just heal the intestinal tissue. It profoundly clears that cognitive fog, it deepens your restorative sleep phases, and it resets your body's baseline stress response.
As the quote says, trust your body, because it has its own built-in detoxification system. They work 24/7 to process and eliminate waste and toxins. Your organs are the true experts here. Your primary biological directive is simply to nourish them, fuel them with the right complex fibers, and honestly, just step out of their way. So, I want to leave you with this. If your body already owns a world-class 24/7 self-cleaning system, why on earth would you pay money to paralyze your intestines? True biological optimization doesn't come from a commercial quick fix. It comes from deeply respecting the intricate, interconnected systems of human physiology. When you heal your gut, you protect your brain. You preserve the architecture of your sleep. You enhance your cognitive capacity for deep work, and you drastically extend your lifelong vitality. Make the choices that honor rather than destroy your internal ecosystem.